In this video, I'm playing Backgammon versus the Bot with my good friend Candace Mayeron. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. Again, in this video, it's my pleasure to have my good friend Candace Mayeron. Thank you for joining me and welcome.
Thank you so much, Alex. I'm really very pleased and honored to be here. Thank you for including me.
My pleasure. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. It's beautiful in Los Angeles.
Yes, yes. I have guests from all over the country and all over the world, and some places it's very cold. So this is part of my personal initiative to get more women into the game, so I'm very happy to have you. I know you have that goal too. You've got your upcoming tournament. That's always great. And I know you have the Wonder Woman event. What are your ideas? Do you have any other ideas other than having like women only tournaments to get more women into the game?
I don't think a women's only tournament encased in a regular tournament is fine, but certainly not separate and on its own. You know, Alex, the major reason for women to start playing backgammon and to join backgammon, in my opinion, is social. You meet people, they become friends. If you're an older person, you get the social interaction that you need as an older person. Another thing about women playing is it is ageless. This also applies to men, but it's ageless. You can't go out and play a game of pickleball when you're 85, but you sure can play a backgammon match at your local club. So another reason for women to join, there's a lot more men than there are women, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is. It is nice. I know you've been visiting the Venice Backgammon Club, and I feel like that one's more social. And I haven't been there. Do you notice that there are more women there than there are at, the LA Club?
Well, look, the Venice Backgammon Club is a meet-up. There isn't one person there who's ever used the cube. Every time they have a meeting, there are 80 to 100 people there. There's not one person. You put your board in front of you and sit there so somebody will walk by and say, I'll play with you. And you just play with strangers. They come up to me and say, oh, you're that woman. And I go, how do you know? They said, you're bored. I'm the only one with a tournament-sized board. So the meetups are great. I go to them to cultivate and have people come to my tournament, and it works. I had 27 intermediates last time and 6 the time before. However, there are some real players in those meetups, some very real players. One guy went from the meetup and at my tournament, he beat Victor Ashkenazi, somebody else almost of that ilk, and almost took Marty Storer in the finals. But Alex was the finalist at the California State a year and a half ago. So there's good players there and good opportunities to meet people who just like playing the game.
Yeah, that was my friend Alex Farzan, right?
You betcha.
Yeah, so I notice in our regular group about 10% of the players are women. What's the approximate percentage of women at this Venice club that you were mentioning?
I would say it's 50%, and every one of them is gorgeous.
Wow, wow, that's fantastic. Great. So maybe that's a good way of doing some social backgammon. That's a lot of fun. I always look forward to your tournament. Tell us about the upcoming one in terms of the date, location, and so forth.
Thank you, Alex. The location is the Los Angeles Hilton Hotel at the airport, the LAX. It's a high-rise luxury hotel. It's fabulous. It's 10 minutes from the airport, and there are free shuttles running back and forth. Dates are obviously June 6th through 9, but I'm also having a BMAB Wednesday, June 5. So there is that opportunity as well.
That's fantastic. The BMAB is a really nice tournament. It stands for Backgammon Masters Awarding Body. I spoke with Roberto Litzenberger recently, who helps out with that, and now they're calling it the Players Cup. So I'm going to be doing a video about that. So wonderful. Hopefully people will attend the tournament and we get more women playing backgammon. And in this video, we'll go ahead and play a 3-point match against XG. I'll go ahead and pull up the board. Are you able to see this board now?
I can.
Okay, great. I chose this board because I know you like the colorful boards, and this one is very colorful. This is a beautiful Jeffrey Parker board. The skin is made by Rain. He makes beautiful skins. I'll put a link in the description. So it's a 3-point match, and then we'll analyze it. You're playing the blue checkers at the bottom. XG is playing the white checkers at the top. You're welcome to consult with me, and then we'll analyze it. And most important is to have fun, and number 2 is to learn. So you have a 4-3 to play.
Oh, okay. Let's split the back man to his 4 and bring one down from my midpoint for the 3.
Okay.
The 4, I mean, yes.
Okay, great, like that. Okay. And then, of course, I'll roll on the obvious ones, but let me know if you ever want to double. So this was an interesting one. I've done a study on this. Let's say you roll a 4-1 now. How would you,
pardon?
if you roll a 4-1 now, what are the options and how would you play it?
If I have a board on, I'm sorry. By the way, I don't know if everybody knows that my hearing is extremely faulty, and it goes to being able to understand, and I apologize. I'm going to be asking Alex often what it is that he said, and I still don't understand it.
I completely understand because I'm married. You have a 4 and a 1. 4-1. If you roll 4-1 next, how would you play?
If I had a 4-1 next. Okay, if I had a 4-1 next, I would take his 5-point, and I will tell you why. With 2 men back, my 5-point is critical. With just 1 man back, the bar becomes more important because it's harder to contain 1 man than it is to contain 2. I read this someplace. This isn't my genius. So I would make his 5-point.
Okay, let's see what we roll. It's a 2-1. You don't have to worry about it, but you still have options.
Yep, I can make his 4 or I can make my bar. Probably both are correct, and I think I'll make the bar.
Okay. Now 6-2, so white ran. Now 3-2.
Oh, man. Costin is right. It's fixed dice. 24-21. Well, no, I don't know. I want to keep a man back. So I'm going to make my 5-point.
Okay. This is going to be a lot of fun with you. All right, 6-1 makes the bar point. Now
roll a 4, Alex.
6-2.
Okay, 6-2. Oh man, can we put up the pip count so I don't? Oh, here it is. I see it. Okay, I've got 152. XG has 141, so I can't move out of the back there. So I'll bring 1 down from my midpoint, and I'll start my 4-point.
Very good. 6-3 makes the 10-point. Now we're on roll. 6-5.
These are the moves that make the difference.
What are the options?
Well, the option is to run the back man that's currently on the 21-point, run him all the way out.
Okay.
That's 1. I can't move the 24-point at all, so I don't have to deal with that.
Okay.
I could make an inside point. I could make my 1-point. I can make my 2-point. I cannot make my 3-point. I hate both of those moves. So I'm going to I hate stripping my midpoint and take the 8 to the 3. No, put it back. Take the 7 to the 2. Now I have 2 more builders to make an inside point. 3, really.
Like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I have builders on my 6, 7, and 8 to make an inside point.
Okay. Now white is doubling. So what's your thought process on this doubling decision?
I don't understand why XG doubled. I don't.
Okay,
Because
so you have the decision to make to take or pass. How do you make that decision?
he's got no he's got no builders. See, I'm a builder person. I like the flexibility and I like builders. He's got no builders, only on the 6 and the 13. So he's very inflexible. There must be a lot of bad rolls coming up. The race is dead ass even. I'm taking.
Okay. So what would be the good rolls for white? Like let's say white rolls uh, six with a 2 or a 4 or a 3. So that's like 6-4, 6-3, 6-2, 4-2, 4-3, 3-2, and then the doubles, double 6, double 4, double 3, double 2, and double 1. That's a lot of numbers that make this point on head. So I think white has a lot of options here, and then in that case, white would be a favorite in a hitting exchange, having a 2-point board if white were to make that 4-point and 6-point against another 2-point board, but you have 2 blots in your board. So I think that's part of it too. So we'll see. We'll take. Okay, 6-1 didn't roll a good number. Now 2-1.
That's a horrible roll.
Yeah.
Okay, for the 2, I'll make my 4-point, please.
Okay.
Well, I could play 6-5. I don't want to kill a builder, so I would play 6-5 for the 1. If possibly. The other choice, I'm not going to make his 4-point with the 1-2. That I won't do. I want to keep one man far back so he can't get in behind me. So I'm going to stay but like that in his home board. If that's the choice, then it's easy. Becomes easy. 6-4, 6-5.
Okay. 5-4, so that worked. Now you're looking for a 1 here.
This is my second roll after the cube, and I have a shot. And while it's not the game-winning shot, it certainly is going to be not good for white.
Yeah. So didn't hit it, but you roll a 6-4.
Oh, more fixed dice. Okay. That's just my way of saying hello to Kosin. Okay. 6-4. Well, I want to make my 2-point, and I'll slot the 5. I'll slot my 1-point.
Slot your 1-point.
Yeah.
You can also slot the 3-point too.
Well, no, okay, hold on. I've got 2 builders bearing on it. Go back to the other position. If you slot the ace point, I have 1 builder on it. Let's go back. I like the other play much better.
And you'd rather make the 3-point first than the 1-point.
100% better. Well, I also have more builders.
Yeah. Okay. 6-4. Okay. No shot yet, but 3-2.
That's a great roll for me. The 2 is easy. We'll make our 3-point. The question is, if I come down from the 13 in an attempt to get him to hit me, I am behind in the race right now. He's got 0 board that I can come in on, but there is that broken 5-point prime. So I think I will stay on the 13. And for my 3, I'll go 7-4.
Okay. All right, 6-2. That was not good. So now we have to be careful because double gammon loses the match for us.
Come on, XG, give me a double 5. Okay,
all right,
come in on the 1, and I'll slot my bar.
Right, that one is forced. Okay, 6-4. All right, double 6. It's good for the race, but otherwise that's it. 5-3. Okay. 6-2. Look at that, Candace.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
The Kit Woolsey rule is every time before you roll, think about a double. Most of the time you'll say, do I have a double? No, I don't have a double. However, at this point, I want to really think about it, don't we?
Yes.
I need a 2 to come up. After I get the 2, I feel that I'm fine. How much time do I have to get that 2? Well, my checker on the 16 has 1, 2, 3 crossovers that I can play before I start to crunch. So I have 3 rolls, maybe 2.5, to roll a 2.
Okay.
If I roll a 2, I actually have gammon chance. So now the question is, do I redouble after I roll the 2, or do I clench up my courage and redouble now?
Then the question is, it's whether you're going to lose your market. So you have to think about, is it going to be a take for white right now? And is it going to be a take for white? Let's say you roll a 2-1 or a 2-3 or something like that. So probably if you roll a 2 and get to the edge without even rolling a 6 or a 5, white's not going to be able to take next, right?
So you would say wait till you roll the 2?
No, I'm asking myself is, let's say we roll a 2 and something else like a 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, or 2-4. We have to move this checker, right? White's going to be on the bar, so we're going to have another roll. So now imagine this checker is now here, and this checker is somewhere around here. Now, if we own the cube and we double, it's going to be a for sure pass, right? Because all we need now is a 5 or a 6, right?
Correct.
So that means any 2 will lose your market, right?
Yeah.
So that's a different law. There's the Woolsey's law. Well, that's not even Woolsey's law, but Woolsey's law is about the take this, and this is the O'Hagan law. John O'Hagan says if you have 9 net market losers, then it's a double. So there are 11 rolls that contain a 2. So that's 11. That's already more than 9. And are there any anti-jokers that you have to subtract? Well, maybe like double 5 and double 4. So that's 2 numbers or so. And then that's about it. So you're approximately 9. So this is an interesting decision.
I think it's very hard. You're a championship player. What do you think?
So I think I'd probably double here. It also kills the gammons, kills the cube, so white no longer has a recube vigorish. But I always tell my guests that you're the guest, so the ultimate decision is up to you. It's okay if we get it right or wrong, but the most important thing is to have fun and learn. So whatever you like, that's what I would probably double, but it's totally up to you.
Well, there's actually one more thing in play, and that is another Woolsey rule, which is if you're not sure whether you should double or not, double. And then the problem becomes the other person's problem. However, this is a 3-point match, and the cube is already on 2. So the real question is, do I want to put the match on this position?
Right, right. And also the Woolsey's law or the Woolsey's rule has to do with the doubling decision. If you're not sure whether it's a take or a pass, then it's a double. So now we think about it. Let's say you're white here and blue doubles. Would you take this?
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
In that case, then it might be too good. Then it's either a double and a pass or it's too good to double.
Well, that is another flaw in my gameplay, Alex. I, first of all, have difficulty recognizing. Remember, I'm an intermediate player, not a championship. So I have difficult recognizing when it's too good. And when, if I do recognize it, I think there's no such thing as too good. I want to get my points and go home because I've lost too many of those games where I was certain to win it.
Well, this is always therefore a good opportunity to learn.
I'm going to redouble here.
Okay. Redouble, take. Okay, so now 3-1.
I just move that little 16, 13. Hold on. Let me see where I want the ace. 13, 12 is fine.
Okay. Now, double 4.
Let's see. I'm sure glad I didn't redouble.
1. You did redouble.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did.
2, and then like this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Still looking
Come
for
on,
a
give me a
2.
two.
There
Yeah.
you go. There's the 2,
And 2 to 1.
2 to 1.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
preserving my threes.
Yeah, this way, if you roll a double 3 next, you're okay, rather than if you roll a double 3 here, you're going to leave a blot. All right, so now we're hoping for not a 6. All right, it is a 6, but the wrong 6. Now, 5 or 6.
Oh,
Remember, force, and the 2 you're going to want to clear, right?
okay. Yep.
Okay. Another
I'll
chance.
take the 5 now.
Oh, no, double 1.
Okay. 4 to 1. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 1.
2, 1.
Yep.
Okay. 4, 2 again.
Come on.
5,
Woo!
3. There you go. The 5
Okay.
is forced, and the 3, of course,
Yeah,
you'll
now
continue.
watch. Okay, but you got 2 to come in. Okay. I like that move.
Yep. 6, 2. All right. Now 3, 1.
Yep, go ahead.
3.
And the 1.
You want to continue?
And the 1. Now let me see if am I covered with double 6s? I am not. So go back for the 1 to the 11 point and move me 3 to 2 and let me check now. Oh, that's not going to work either. So move 4, 3. Nothing's going to work. Yes, this works. This is my play.
This works. This also has the advantage of leaving fewer shots, because here it's only 6, 5, and double 5 hits, right?
Right.
If you were to go to here, now 6, 4, 5, 4, and double 5 hits. That's 5 numbers.
Right.
So good. 3 and then 1. However, the downside is if you roll a small number like 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, you may not advance. And if you roll like a 5, 1, you cannot advance. But that's the price you pay. Price of admission. All right. 5, 1. Okay. So the 5, and then hit them both. Some people think like hit the 5 and then play 1 off to save the gammon, but that's irrelevant here because the gammons don't matter. So you just hit both. Very good. Okay. 3, 1, we were missed. 5, 1.
Hold on a second.
Do you see the 5?
Yeah, okay. Take it off the 5 and off the 1 point.
Off the 1. Okay. 6,
Well,
1.
I'm glad I redoubled.
All right. So it looks like smooth sailing from here. I'll go ahead and finish the game on autopilot, and give me a moment. I will save the match, and then we will look at the analysis.
Oh, sure.
It's okay. Right, so we'll analyze it. Now, you said your PR is usually double digits, but here is an expert level, 6.35. Congratulations.
I got lucky.
You got lucky. I think you played well. We can consult. Okay, so we'll go through all the positions, and we'll look at the decisions, and we'll learn. So the 4-3, I think for where you're at, if your average is in the double digits, then the ones you want to focus on are the red ones, the blunders. Don't make a big deal about these because these were close. Bringing 2 down and splitting is close. That's not a big deal. And then the 2-1, these ones were actually very close, making the bar point or making the anchor. They were virtually tied, so no error there. Now with the 3-2, this was the decision where you correctly decided not to make this anchor, but you had the choice of making the 5 point like so, which results in this position.
Right.
And that's what you chose. It looks like it prefers making the 4 point like this, which results in this position. What I think in this type of a situation is usually you want to play pure, meaning you want to make your points in order. However, now that the last checker has escaped, you can maintain the flexibility, make the 4 point now, and have more builders to make the 5 point next.
Alex, when I gave that whole thing about it's harder to retain one man, so your 5 point isn't as important as your bar when there's one guy, was all that correct?
So when I teach my students, sometimes I talk like a lawyer. You know, you talk to a lawyer and you ask him a question, and the answer is it depends. Right? And I don't know about law, but in backgammon, you know, it depends. There are generalizations that you can make, but every position is a little bit different, and you'll see, like if you move one checker back, one checker one place, and move things around, it might change things. So we'll have an opportunity to look at that in just a moment. But I guess the resulting position is just this stack of checkers on the 6 point, which is a little bit inflexible, whereas here it's a little bit more flexible. Um, so we'll see that in just a moment. Now the 6-2 was right to just come down and slot the 4 point. Anytime you have a stack of 5 checkers on a point, you really want to unstack it. So that was right. Now the 6-5. Okay, so this was the one where there was a decision. You remember this one?
Yes.
So it looks like the reasonable plays were making the 2 point, resulting in this position. Or the second play that was close is running all the way here, resulting in this position.
That's
Uh,
interesting that it was close because I thought that that might be a blunder leaving a checker stranded so far away.
yes, so when it's pretty close in the race, you'd like to give yourself some options. So if you were to roll like a double four or a 6-4 next or a 6-2 or 5-3, you might be able to pop out and, you know, try to escape in the race. It's always nice to keep your options open, both in backgammon and in life, right?
Alex, every time you throw the dice when you're playing and you've got a move like this that's not an automatic knee jerk move, do you sit and go through to come up with every play that works well and every play that doesn't? And if your answer is yes, what about the clock?
That's a very good question. The answer is I don't do that on every single play because some of them are obvious. You know, you can make the 5 point, you're going to make the 5 point. But on some of the ones that require a little bit more, sometimes I think about it. Basically, what I do is I think about, you know, what's the game plan? There are four major strategies to win a game in backgammon without using the doubling cube. The first is simply racing, just bringing all your checkers home. The second is priming, like perhaps this is going to be a prime. The third is blitzing or attacking, putting checkers on the bar. And the fourth is a defensive strategy, like a holding game. So basically, I look at this and I say, okay, what's White's best way of winning? Well, White wants to prime, right? Because White's got four points here and hoping to make a fifth point. So if you're behind a prime, you want to kind of escape a prime. If you having two checkers behind a prime is much worse than having one checker behind a prime. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about before even rolling. So I feel like that's actually something good to do before you roll. Think about what you want to do and think about what your good rolls are and what your bad rolls are so that if you do roll it, then you kind of have an idea. Now, the other thing about the 13-2, which was the following. This is what it looked like resulting in this position. What happens is here is you have a 2 point board and you have two blots in your board. If you simply make the 2 point, it is a little deeper of a point. However, now you have a 3 point board with only one blot in it. And if there's a potential hitting exchange coming up, you're much better off having a 2 point board with only a single blot rather than, I'm sorry, a 3 point board with only a single blot than a 2 point board with two blots.
Question.
Yes, please.
Uh, I aren't those two blots misleading because I'm so flexible with the extras on the 6, 7, and 8 that I can cover it. Even, and if I have to use my entire roll to hit, I don't know that I would, but if I had to, he's got no board. I don't care if I'm hit back. I mean, I care, but not that much.
Well, let's see what it looks like. So here, well, here you have threes and twos to cover,
Right.
right? And also 5-4 will do it. Here, you have a lot of numbers to cover. This is true. But you have two problems. Number one and number two. You have two things you need to cover. Here, there's only one thing you need to cover. So imagine you're left with a blot or something, like a 6-4 or something like that. Or 6-4 will hit there, or 6-5. I don't know. Imagine a number that's not good, like maybe a 5-4 that might leave a shot here. If white rolls a 5-4 and comes down and hits, now you can hit a shot and you might have other numbers to cover. Whereas in this case, if he rolls the same 5-4 and then you have a shot here, you might be able to hit and you might be able to cover one, but you'll still have another blot exposed. Furthermore, if white is on the bar after that, white will be on the bar against a 2-point board, so there are 4 rolls that dance. On the other hand, against a 3-point board, there are 9 numbers that dance. So that's more than twice as many. So there are a lot of things you need to take into consideration. I read, not so recently anymore, Bill Roberti's recent 3-volume series on how to play the opening in backgammon. And I think if you take away 2 words from that entire series, I would take the subtitle of volume 2, which is Everything Matters. So you have to look at everything on the board to see what happens. So this is actually a nice thing we can do. I'm going to paste this position here. Let's say you're in this position now. Now you can probably, it might actually still be better to do that, but let's see what happens here.
Now I might run. So
now you might run.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's still better. But 13-2 is closer here. It's only an error of 28 millipoints here, whereas in the original position here, it's an error of 99 millipoints.
I got a blunder.
Yeah, but that's good. I don't look at things as blunders or errors or whatever. It's just a learning opportunity. And this is how you learn. You change the position and see what happens. Okay, then there was the double position. This was a double and it was a take. So good. And then afterwards, we had the 6-4. It looks like it had a slight preference of anchoring with the 2-1 here, like this, resulting in this position. So this is a good position to look at because there's often a common misconception that people have. We all know if you're ahead in the race, you want to race. That makes sense. And a lot of people have the converse of that. If you're behind in the race, you don't want to race, so you want to maximize contact. Well, you may want to maximize contact. You certainly want to keep contact, but the amount of contact is an issue. Still having this anchor provides a sufficient amount of contact in this position because number one, we're only down by 5 in the race. So if we were able to roll like a nice racing roll, like a double 5, that would allow us to come out. Secondly, when you have an anchor 6 away from the highest point that the opponent wants to clear, it's going to be challenging for white to clear this point. So I think those are the reasons why it prefers the anchoring play. But this is not a big deal. It's a very small error, so I wouldn't make a big deal of that.
Okay.
Now with the 6-4, this was right to make the 2-point, which is what we did, and then slot the 3-point. So that was good. And then with the 3-2, okay, so this is the one. What did we do here? You played the 2 5-3, and then here it likes the anchoring play with the 3. For similar reasons that we just discussed. Now you're down 9 in the race, but still this anchor is going to provide a lot of problems clearing this point. And you don't have to give up your structure here, because right now you have the bar point slotted. That means you may be able to make it with a 6, like a 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 6-5. Whereas once you do this, now it's no longer slotted. And you're susceptible to attack by rolls like 6-2, 6-4, 6-3, and then 4-3, 4-2, 3-2, double threes, double fours, double sixes, double ones, and double twos. So this is a good one to learn from. Here you can afford to anchor, because once you have this stronger board, you see the resulting position. You have a 5-point board, and then I call this a holy 2-point board because it has a big hole in it, a big gap right there.
I am behind in the race.
You are behind in the race. So that's what I was saying. You want to maintain contact, so you do have sufficient contact, but the anchor also prevents you from getting blitzed out and gammoned for the match. Like you look at this here, after this play, you're losing 1.8% gammons. After the play of leaving this, you're losing 8.3% gammons, and those gammons are really valuable for white. Those are small numbers here. We can look it up. Are you able to see that when you look close? We'll have to magnify it. In any event, those are kind of the reasons why you want to do that. Very good. Moving on with the 6-1, that was completely forced, and so was the double 6, and the 6-2 was a great roll. And here, this was good. This was a solid redouble, and it was a take. So
God bless Kit Woolsey.
yeah, let me show you the kinds of things that we do. This is like a prime versus prime situation, because we're primed and white is virtually primed here. So some of the things you can do is modify the position to see what happens. If you move this from 16 to 15, that's 1 pip less timing you have. So this was let's see what it looks like here. Now it's worth 829. Now let's see, if you move it 1 pip further, now it's only 787. If you move it 1 further, it's 756. Now let's move a crossover over here. Now it's getting closer. If you're starting to run out of time, like let's say it's all the way here, now it's a borderline no double. You see, you have to move it all the way here. If you move it back 1, now it's still a borderline no double, and here's probably, yeah, borderline double. So we have plenty of time in terms of the mobility of this checker on the 16 point to give us time to roll that too. So that was why it was a double.
Great.
Okay. Then the 3-1 was essentially forced. There weren't many decisions here that we had. And that was basically it. The 3-1 was the one that we were talking about. You bring one down with the 3, and 4-3 was the right one, like we discussed. You remember that?
Kind of.
Well, this is the resulting position.
Okay.
Very good. And then the 5-1, we just had to hit twice. There was the option of actually just hitting once like this.
And taking a man off. Oh.
No, just hitting once.
Yeah, I played 1-5.
Yeah, but that was better. Okay. And then the rest was just bearing things off.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
I got lucky that I didn't get hit down there.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky. That's okay.
Or that he didn't come in earlier. That was really my luck.
Right. But you ended up winning a gammon. You won the match. Expert level. Congratulations. Let me go ahead and stop this share. So, as I said at the beginning, the 2 goals were to have fun and learn. So did you have fun?
Yay!
Yeah, that's the fun. You get to play, you get to have fun, and then we learned some things, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's a delight.
Yes. So these are always fun because you get to have fun, you get to learn. I feel like the thought process and the discussion helps with the learning. And it's great to bring new people into the game. I hope that this video and the others in this series will help promote bringing more women into the game, because that's a personal initiative that I have, and I'm sure you have that too. And there was the tournament you have now, the Wonder Woman tournament, right?
I have a fabulous ladies tournament within our tournament. And I should have said before, I invite anybody and everybody to take a look at my website so that you can see what the tournament is going to look like, and all questions will be answered there. The website is all one word, Gammon Associates, plural, West, but all one word, Gammon Associates West. And please take a look.
Yes, I will put the link in the description so people can look and they can just directly click on the link. That's fantastic. It's always been a pleasure to help you with the tournament. Specifically, I'm honored that you asked me to sponsor it by donating some skincare products for the women. That's
Oh,
always
yeah, we were
fun.
talking about Wonder Woman. We were talking about that tournament. Okay.
Yes.
So it's for women only. I have to limit it to 16, and I always have more women that want to play than 16. And it's exciting because here's what I do. First of all, I decorate. That's me.
Yes.
I have shiny pink cloths on every table. I have rosebud petals for the ladies, and I have champagne for the ladies. It's really what do you call it? Sparkling cider. That's not liquor. But here's the kicker. I look around to find some elite player that is not doing anything right now. And I go up to them and I say, I need you. You got to refresh their champagne glasses. And so at Grandmaster, they'll sit there. Neil Kazaros did it the first time, and I heard about it a year later. It was so fun to have a Neil Kazaros pouring wine for me. So I had elite players going around refreshing their glasses.
I believe I may have the picture of that one.
There is a picture of it. We should have worked on pictures ahead of time because there's been a lot of pictures to illustrate some of these things. I take a lot of pictures, but there is a Neil Kazaros picture giving champagne, and the girls just loved it.
Let me see. I may actually have. Oh no, I don't have that picture here. It's on my phone. So I
Maybe
did.
you can edit it in later.
Yeah, I'll show it or something. But it's a great picture. I have the picture with the ladies. Were you there on the video I did with the women of backgammon with the common second roll errors?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, I had a picture of that, of the ladies. There were like four of them that I took a picture with, and that was a lot of fun. And it's always a great tournament. I mean, I haven't traveled to a lot of tournaments just because of my work and family commitments, but the people that come to the LA tournament twice a year in June and in December always have a good time, and it's because of the efforts of you and Patrick and the entire staff. So I really appreciate that.
Frank Talbot.
Frank Talbot, you have a lot of people that help you, right?
Yep, I need a lot of help. Yes,
Yeah.
and I have some surprises in store for June.
Surprises? Okay.
Well, we have some celebrities coming from Japan.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. Great. I'm happy.
I'm sorry?
I'm happy to hear that.
Okay, so Mochi called me and asked if I would sponsor. He was having a tournament in Tokyo. It was a big one, and asked if I would sponsor an entry for the two winners, for the winner and the runner-up. And I did. So the winner and the runner-up will be here. Both are BMAB Grandmasters. The first gentleman is Hideaki Ueda.
Oh, yes.
So he'll be here. And the other gentleman, I can't pronounce his name. There's that. Okay. And plus a member of Mochi's staff, a lady, is going to be here. So those of you who've gone overseas, maybe you've met some of these people. And I always have a few other surprises in store. Hell, I don't even know what half of them are right now.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for participating in this. It's always a pleasure to see you, play with you, and attend your tournaments. Do you have any final comments about the tournament or anything else before we conclude the video?
I can't think of anything except that in particular, I would like to invite the ladies to my tournament.
Yes,
I'd like
yes.
to see that more. First of all, you dress better. So, and that's important to me. At my tournaments, I don't want to see certain things. And I will say something in person.
Yeah, remember how we had this conversation. So, very good. Dress up for Candace's tournaments.
Yeah.
It used to be back in the 70s, people would dress up. They would wear a suit and tie to go play backgammon, right?
Yep, they surely did. And we started each tournament with a black tie dinner, and people wore tuxedos.
Yeah. Nowadays, things are different.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thank you again very much for your time and all of your efforts, Candace Mayeron. It's a pleasure to have had you. You have an open invitation to come
Thank
back. I look forward to seeing you at the tournament and the various local events. We'll go ahead and conclude the video. Thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.